This may not be your most played Pokemon game, but if it is, then you've used at least 3 out of 6 of these Pokemon I'm about to list. Leave a comment on how many I named out of your team. If I guessed at least 3, then I win. So this is probably the easiest starter choice out of all 9 generations of Pokemon, and I'm gonna give it like 65 to 25 to like 10% because everyone ignores the grass type of this region. Totodile is very usable, however Cyndaquil just washes both of them. So Cyndaquil or Typhlosion was your choice. Now for yours and everyone else's second team member, which is in no particular order by the way, we're in Route 32. You have the option of Pidgey, Bellsprout, and the most popular one in that route, Mareep. Electric is a very useful type, so if you had that option to catch one, then you would. If it's a good design, if you like it, whatever, you'll use it. And Ampharos, like overall, is a pretty viable mon, not in terms of statistics, because it's very slow, but it has very high special attack, and it learns pretty good coverage. That being said, Ampharos was the second Pokemon that the majority of people caught while playing through this game. So far, Cyndaquil and Mareep, or Typhlosion and Ampharos. Now, for the third Pokemon, I'm gonna go with Heracross. I think it's a Pokemon that is very viable. The encounter method is actually quite different from any other normal Pokemon. You have to headbutt the trees in Azalea Town, or I think Ilex Forest. I did the research and I found out that it's actually pretty commonly used by a lot of people. So Typhlosion, Ampharos, and Heracross. So far, I think that's a pretty good selection of Pokemon. But I would say, in between, starting the game up until Azalea Town, I do think there are some really good options in between that. So most people would have caught a Wooper on the docks in that area, in that route. Wooper, the egg that you receive in Violet Town, Violet City, which is Togepi. Togekiss is a pretty good option. However, the learn set it gets, having to evolve it from Togepi to Togekiss, is very, very annoying because you're not going to have any good moves. If you caught a Togekiss just by itself, you would have Aura Sphere, Air Slash, E-Speed, and Sky Attack, which is like insane. If you evolve your Togepi up until a Togekiss, you'll have none of those, which is pretty funny. But I do think people use Togekiss a lot in this game. So those are 2 honorable mentions, Quagsire and Togekiss in between that, and also Pidgey, because flying types are very useful. Everyone uses flying type. But I've gone with Typhlosion, Ampharos, and Heracross so far. Fourth Pokemon is going to be Eevee, because it's a gift Pokemon that you receive from Bill in Goldenrod City. The hard part is figuring out which evolution you evolved it into. Now, I did a bit of, digging around here and there, and I decided to go with Espeon. That's because having to obtain, and this is pretty funny, having to obtain the Thunderstone, Waterstone, and Firestone in Heartgold Soulsilver is very tedious, and I don't think Leafeon and Glaceon are even obtainable in those games. That being said, either Umbreon or Espeon is what you had evolved it into, maybe on accident because you couldn't find or figure out where to get a Thunderstone, Waterstone, or Firestone. Eventually played the game long enough to evolve your Eevee without even realizing, and then you got stuck with an Espeon or an Umbreon, which is not a bad thing at all. Espeon is my favorite evolution. It's also a very good Pokemon to have on your team, because the coverage it learns is ridiculous, and the Soothe Bell being obtainable in the very next area of the game in the National Park is very fitting. It's on course to evolving into Umbreon or Espeon. I think Game Freak intended for the players to promote evolving into the new species that they added into Johto, because that's when they were introduced in Gen 2, not Gen 4, but Gen 2. Anyway, and a quick thing, having to obtain those stones is very stupid because you have to, for one, you have to make sure you accept people's phone numbers in the Pokegear. So last Dana, in the route left of Ekritik, she will call you at some point and she will have a Thunderstone ready for you and you gotta go and get it. If you don't get her number, then you just don't get the Thunderstone. Those stones are also available in Kanto, which is post-game, so you're not going to wait that long to evolve your Eevee. That makes no sense. So you're just going to do the logical thing, which is evolve your Eevee the most simple way in that game. You can also go through the Pokeathlon if you care to do that enough. If you get enough points, then you can buy the stones. You gotta go and do all these like track events, all these like sporting events with the Pokemon, and then you gain points, and then you can buy the stones. Also, depending on what day you're in the shop. Tuesdays, different shop. Wednesdays, different shop. Thursdays, different shop. So you gotta like, you know what I'm saying? It's very tedious. Anyway, Espeon is the 4th Pokemon I'm gonna go with. And for the 5th Pokemon, I kind of tied it between Quagsire, Gyarados, and Lapras, all water types. Now, I did mention Quagsire around the Ampharos area, the Mareep area, but I'm gonna go with Gyarados with the 5th Pokemon. The main point I had behind this one was because of the shiny red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. I feel like most people just used it because it looked sick. I didn't, but should have used it because it's a very good Pokemon. And to me, it just felt like it was kind of cheating in a way, because like getting a free shiny, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't feel right. I do think most people used that Gyarados. Pretty sure it was up to level as well, so you could use it immediately. Now we're down to the final Pokemon, which I'm gonna say right now, I was banking between 2 pseudos and a flying type, but one of those pseudos is already a flying type. So I had it between Crobat and Dragonite, or T-Tar. But I kind of ignored T-Tar a little bit. I feel like Dragonite is a way better pseudo option if you don't have a flying type yet. If you did, then you would probably still get Dragonite, which is what I did. I had Pidgeot and Dragonite, but I'm gonna lock it in with Dragonite. Crobat is very good. It's very easily obtainable. Zubat is like in the first cave or whatever you find. But I just feel like Dragonite has to be used in this game because it's available right at the final gym, which is when most people catch their final Pokemon. Either right before the final gym or right as they're in the final gym, they'll head on to the route behind that city and catch a Pokemon. The Dratini is available in the Dragon's Den in Blackthorn City, so it's only fitting to catch a Dratini in that area, isn't it? But since it was the first pseudo, having it more easily obtainable in Heartgold Soulsilver, I just think it's, you know, it's a very good team member option. But that's my 6 that I'm gonna list: Typhlosion, Ampharos, Heracross, Espeon, Gyarados, and Dragonite. I feel like those 6 Pokemon are most commonly used throughout everyone's teams. If your team is like Meganium, Ninetales, Quagsire, Umbreon, Crobat, you at least have an Ampharos in there somewhere, you know what I mean? That's how I listed it. Now, this exact team of 6 isn't necessarily what everybody used in their playthrough. I'm just saying that at least 2 or 3 of these Pokemon were used by the players in Heartgold Soulsilver. The most popular team members. Subscribe if you like this stuff, and leave a comment down below on how many I got out of your team, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.